You're looking live at Kansas Speedway for the last race of the Elite 8 in the NAOR Cup Series, as 128 laps here in total here in Kansas Speedway, as qualifying right now underway. One lap in 5 minutes to see who can get the fast lap time here and set themselves up on pole position for one of the most important races of the season. Currently on the racetrack, you have Josh Arnold there. Currently he's going through 3 and 4 right now, setting up for his first time lap. Out top through 3 and 4 as well. He's on his first time lap right now. Off of turn 4 for that 3 machine. Coming to the stripe, will be a 29.769. Currently puts him on pole position for now, as Aguirre puts himself up to second. Josh Arnold down the back straight he goes. Arnold currently the last driver in the top 4, the final 4 you would call it. 4 points ahead of Kalatab, which is the cutoff line. Arnold across the line, it's a 29.749 for that 22 machine. And Cole Snyder will go top of the board with a 29.735. Now Josh Adams currently on pit lane. Donnie Kite in pit lane. Mike Campbell, 29.876. Puts him in 7th place currently. Jonathan Barker rolling off the pit lane right now. Currently second in points right now. Our regular season champion as well. 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. As through 3 and 4 Parker goes, coming to the line. And he go on pole position here tonight at Kansas. And yes, he will. He'll clear a 10th off of Cole Snyder. And Jonathan Berger will be on pole position for now. Josh Adams setting his lap time as Donnie Kite goes up to 2nd. Half a 10th off of Jonathan Parker. As I mentioned, Josh Adams coming down the back straight away on his first and only time lap. Through 3 and 4, hugging that white line. And get a good arc off of turn 4, coming to the stripe. Josh Adams across the line. It's going to be a 29.775. That puts him in 6th place. Now John Osborne on the racetrack right now. A little bit over a minute left in qualifying, excuse me. As Osborne crossing the line, it's going to be a 6.73. That puts him in 3rd place, I believe. And yes, it will. For 81 machine. Gabriel Laurie, the only driver that did not attempt a lap so far. That 71 machine, he won't have enough time to do so. So Jonathan Barker, unofficial right now on pole position here for tonight's race. You should win the DI9 Designs Pole Award once the clock hits 0 officially in 30 seconds time. Just in a few moments here, it will become official. Jonathan Barker will be on pole position here for tonight's race. He currently sits 2nd in the points. pretty clear of the cut line for now, but you never know if he's involved in an accident here or someone gets some good stage finish here or there. You never know what could happen. Jonathan Parker does win the DI9 Designs Pole Award. It's currently green up here for tonight's race. Remember, it's 128 laps in total. Stage in lap 32 and 64. And like usual, no stage caution. As the drivers line up, we'll take a quick look at our starting lineup here for tonight's race. On pole position, like you just saw, Jonathan Parker. Alongside him is Donnie Kite. And third is John Osborne. Fourth is Cole Snyder. Fifth will be Kyle Taub. Sixth will be Josh Arnold. Josh Adams will be seventh. Zachary Merritt in eighth. Chase McGuire will be in ninth. Mark Kissmiller will be in 10th. Mike Campbell 11th. Gabriel DeHari will be 12th. And Jonathan Jurgensmeyer will be in 13th. As now rolling off down the pit lane. As we'll take a quick look at our weather report as well here tonight. Middle of your screen. August 31st, Halloween Eve in real life, afternoon in the sim. 94 degrees air temps, 86 degree track temp. A pretty nice day in the late October. 74 degrees, pretty hot in Kansas for this time of the year. An extra pace lap is added on to for this field. And we'll be going green this time by. As through 3 and 4 they go. Race car about to pull in. The final race in the Elite 8 is about to be underway. Pace car is in, and Jonathan Parker will lead this field to the green flag. And green flag is out, and we're underway here at Kansas. Jonathan Parker with a terrible start, missing a shift. That's not what he wants at the beginning of this one. Absolute mayhem there as Jonathan Parker completely sideways. Donnie Kite just got a black flag there, but most likely that will be cleared. So I'm not sure exactly what happened to Jonathan Parker, but complete mishap there on the initial start. The rest of the field stays green and clean for now as they're pretty much in file for the top two side by side. That's Zachary Meredith and Josh Arnold there for third place as they come off of turn number 4. That puts Jonathan Parker in pretty big holes. They're 3 abreast here in the middle of the racetrack. That's John Osborne, who's already slot down to 11th place. So let's take a quick look at what happened there from Jonathan Parker. Not sure if he got shoved possibly there on the initial start. Just major wheel spin, it looks like. On board with him. First gear. Yeah, just as soon as he shifted up, major wheel spin for that 48 machine. But he's got that going, but he's down to 11th place. As these front drivers kind of bowing as Donnie Kite has lost some momentum. He's down to 10th place. Another championship contender struggling here. Kite needs a good stage points here. He's currently in 8th in the points. I think he might hit the SL wall for turn 4 possibly. Oh, and Nicole Sandra did. We missed that one while we were looking on board Jonathan Parker. Donnie Kite through 3 and 4. Just got walled. Oh, hard hit for both of them. And then that broke his steering. Possibly for that 2 machine. But Cole Snyder currently leads here early in this one. And things have shaken up big time right now. But Cole Snyder currently our points leader and now currently out in front as well. Looking exactly American on the outside wall there off of turn 2. While Mark Kissenweather sneaked his way by. Kissenweather on the outside looking in. Same with Zachary Meredith as well. It's Meredith on the outside wall once more, so it seems like these drivers are getting a little tight off of these corners, off of turn 2 and off of turn 4. Last week you saw a lot of these drivers getting a lot looser than tighter. Like I said, Atlanta, but obviously Atlanta and Kansas a little bit different, especially in that surface area. It's close between Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and Zachary Meredith off of turn number 4 there. As Jurgensmeyer looks on the inside. A little bit of clear there through 1 and 2. Yes, he will off of the corner there. Here comes Kyle Taub. That third machine from 5th. Looking to the inside right there. On Zachary Meredith. Meredith struggling a little bit here early on this one. Only 7 laps into this one, but the fields are really shaking up since the start of this one. Mark Kissenweather up 8 spots, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer up 9, Jonathan Parker down 8, John Osborne down 8, Donnie Kite down 10, struggling massively. I think he definitely has some steering damage from the contact between him and Cole Sander. Seeing Cole Sander, Mark Kissenweather now on the back bumper of that 24 machine. Through 3 and 4 they go. Kissenweather broke in the bottom lane. Now side by side with Cole Sander for the race lead here off of turn 4 down the front straightaway. Little tri-oval there. Now through 1 and 2 still side by side. Kissenweather doing a great job hanging on to the bottom lane. He'll clear for the race lead for the first time tonight here on lap number 9. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer now on the inside. Had a peek off of turn 4. Backed out of it there a little bit. Kyle Taub and Josh Adams behind them now as Jonathan Parker working his way back up through the field. They're only in 7th place right now. Trying to make sure he can rebound just a little bit here. At least get some stage points. As big gaggle cars in front of them. As almost 3 wide down the front straightaway. Looks like Jurgensmeyer will stay in 2nd. As Cole Snyder in 3rd. Here comes Josh Adams and Kyle Taub as well. Off of turn 2, Adams to the inside of Snyder. Will we see 3 move down to turn 3? No, he won't. Still too wide between these two drivers. Adams will clear though. We're at 3rd place spot. There's a lot of comers and goers. It seems like these drivers who get out in front kind of drop back quickly, as Snyder may push his tires just a little bit too much in an early run. Now he's driving back down to 4th place. Could be 5th place here soon as well. And yes, it will, but here comes Josh Arnold as well, and here comes Jonathan Parker. Will Snyder only at 3 or 4 laps ago was in the race lead. Now he might be even down to 7th place here in a moment. Parker is still trying to find his way around Will Snyder, and yes, he will off the turn 4. He'll clear. Or 6. Will Snyder look for a crossover move off the corner there? No, he won't. He'll stay behind for now. But back out in front, Mark Kissmeyer currently leads over Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in 2nd, over Josh Adams in 3rd. As they have a big shakeup in this running order so far tonight than we saw in the starting lineup. Now Kyle Todd on attack here. 3-way battle for 4th. Josh Arnold, Kyle Todd, Jonathan Parker. Josh Arnold just stay ahead for now. Top with a good run off of turn 2. And Parker also not too far behind as well. As Todd going the outside now of Josh Arnold. Can he carry that momentum down the front straightaway and make a move on this 22 machine? Not really able to right now, but Jonathan Parker, I believe, is on the inside right there. Through 1 and 2. And so here comes Parker. He's shifting already in the corners. And he'll clear off of turn 4, very tight, but he moves himself in the top 5 spot. Todd not done fighting yet. He's looking the inside right now, but is slotting himself behind Jonathan Parker for now. So kind of a 3-car pack here for 4th, and a 3-car pack up there for the race lead as Mark Kissweather, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, and Josh Adams. Currently 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack. As in the moment here, we do a little Ellerin crank it up here, coming to lap 21 here at Kansas. I was back live here at Kansas. Saw Mark Kissmeyer and John Jurgensmeyer out a little bit there in the middle of that crank it up segment. But Kissmeyer was able to stay ahead for now here on lap 26, and we're almost up to the stage here on the end of lap 32, so about 7 more laps for these drivers. But the thing is, the top three just kind of doing a good job. Josh Arnold and Jonathan Parker really not catching up to those top 3 drivers quite yet. Jonathan Parker, I think, used up a little bit of his stuff early on this run, trying to make up those spots they lost on the initial start from wheel spinning there in first gear. So currently, he did a good job rebounding from down to 12th place up to 5th place now. But up down Donnie Kite, who I believe does still have steering damage, at least that's what it looks like. Currently in 12th place, about a second off per lap compared to the front runners, about to get lapped as well. You're probably in the next 8 or so laps. But we'll see how aggressive these drivers are for these stage points. I don't think they'll be overly aggressive, especially maybe Mark Kissmeyer might be a little bit more aggressive than some of these other drivers, due to the fact that he's currently on the outside looking in, compared to drivers like Kyle Taub and Josh Arnold. So this would be a good boost for Mark Kissmeyer and could propel himself into the Final 4 here in these next few weeks. But as we look ahead right now, next week we go to Michigan, Bristol, and Charlotte. So all tracks I believe we have been to this season. So yeah, we went to Michigan, Charlotte, and the Bristol already. So championship round is filled with tracks we've already been to. So let's see how those play out. A lot of those were, I believe, before the build. Some of them were, at least, for when they obviously update these next gen cars with a more realistic aero package and tire wear and tire physics as well. Makes the race a lot different. Welcome to 2 laps to go in this stage. John Jurgensmeyer still in contention here for this stage one, only 2 tenths back from Mark Kissmeyer. How aggressive will Jurgensmeyer be here? He isn't running for points right now, so I assume he's not really too concerned with the stage points. And now his white flag here for stage 1. Lap traffic up ahead of Donnie Kite. And Cole Snyder made contact earlier in this race. Cole Snyder down to 8th place. Now off of turn 4, Mark Kissmeyer will win stage number 1. Big Donnie going to give these drivers the top lane there through 3 and 4. Probably the preferred lane for these front runners at least. As Jonathan Jurgensmeyer are close to Donnie Kite, they're kind of pinching him down a little bit in that corner. But I'm not sure exactly when the pit window will be open for these drivers. Probably around lap 45, I would assume. There's a lot of these drivers kind of just riding around, I think, just trying to save their stuff just a little bit more. No one's really too close together. The top 3 are really the closest drivers so far on the racetrack. This next stage is in lap 64, so if Marcus to or one of the other playoff drivers like Kyle Taub, Zachary Meredith, or maybe play some strategy call here, maybe pit a little early and try to get work for those stage points in stage 2. Could definitely be a call there. Now look at Josh Adams on the inside of Jurgensmeyer. Jurgensmeyer's gonna stay ahead for now in second off of turn 4. Jonathan Barker has closed the gap there on Josh Arnold. Gap now under 0.4 of a second between those two drivers. We go back up the battle for second place. Adams continues to run that white line. Doesn't get the best exit there. Jurgensmeyer on the top side gets a little bit more momentum. He carries that all the way through the tri-oval. As these two continue to fight behind Mark Kisma for now. Jurgensmeyer trying to do a good job defending. Adam just continues to run that white line, try to save his tires maybe, or get some momentum as much as he can. Mark Kisma just kind of doing his own thing out in front. Kind of dominating the corner a little bit. Jurgensmeyer on the outside wall. Let's go. Adams get through. As Zachary Meredith also on the way there. I believe he just pitted. Actually, no, he's going a lap down. Did not pit. But Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in the outside wall for turn number 2. That's going to allow Josh Adams to sneak his way by here for second. Now he can focus on his half of the race lead now. Working currently lap 43. When will these drivers come down pit lane? I'd assume it would be pretty soon here. Maybe a 2-stop race as well. So far, no cautions here tonight. Which would have been 44 laps green. At the instant early on lap pretty much 0, I guess you would call it, with Jonathan Barker kind of spinning the tires there on the initial start. On him all the way down the last place. He's worked his way up through the field, and he's currently sits in fifth. That's first driver down pit lane, Zachary Meredith, in that 17 machine. Not having that he's wanted. Up on pit lane he goes now. So here comes Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and Josh Adams and Mark Kisma. Oh, around goes Adams, has a penalty, and around goes Jurgensmeyer backwards on pit lane. Josh Adams speeding on pit lane. That's going to put a damper on his day. Big time. as Adams currently sits third in the points. And Kyle Taub speeding up pit lane. So that helps Adams there as Taub is on the outside looking in. As all these mistakes in the big moments, you cannot have these mistakes. As Parker down pit lane now as well, same with Josh Arnold. We'll take a quick replay what happened there with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Very interesting there. Spins on the entry of the pit lane, maybe just shifted down too quickly. Yeah, on the apron there. Around he goes behind. There goes Josh Arnold and Jonathan Parker away on their stops. Kyle Taub and Josh Adams still in their box right now. Slowly up to speed those drivers go. Here comes Adams. Alright, excuse me, Taub, and here comes Adams on the racetrack as well. Here behind Zachary Merritt and 10th, so dropped to 11th and 12th. And this really helps Mark Kissmeyer, who was on the outside looking in 6th place. And currently 3rd and 5th in the points. Having big penalties, gonna put him pretty much 2 laps down almost. Mark Kissmeyer will be our net race leader after this one, after the pit cycle is clear. As Mike Kimball comes down pit lane, and the last driver to not pit is Donnie Kite, who gets passed by Mark Kissmeyer anyway. As Mike Campbell speeding on pit lane. Down to the box he goes there. So Mark Kissmeyer currently our race leader is a 5-second lead over Jonathan Barker. Barker has about a lap fresher tires than him. So we'll see how big of a long run, how this long run plays out with Mark Kissmeyer having a little bit of a disadvantage over Jonathan Barker. Jonathan Parker closing the gap down just a little bit, gap down to 4.4 seconds. It's gaining about half a tenth a lap. And we're in this moment, we do a little other end, crank it up here on lap 53 with Mark Kissmeyer currently in the race lead, getting chased down by Jonathan Barker in second. As we're back live here at Kansas, almost at the end of stage number 2. Marcus Miller currently leads, but Jonathan Parker chasing him down, got down 3.3 seconds. As it pitted about 15 laps to go. Parker was about 1 lap fresher tires than Marcus Miller, and that one lap is actually making a big difference overall, as he's gained about a second since we went to crank it up. But it's not gonna be enough. If we do stay green, Marcus Miller should win this stage number 2, and he's looking to make himself a run here into the final lap 4. As he was on the outside looking in, he was 6 in points coming in. But Kyle Taub and Josh Adams having a bad night, speeding penalties for both those drivers. And Marcus Miller sweeping both stages here could put a big damper on those 2 championship hopefuls. Cole Stern having a good run as well. Josh Alder in 3rd having a decent run tonight. So we'll see how this all shakes up in the points. But right now it looks like Marcus Miller showing right now on the racetrack why he thinks he belongs in the final 4. As one white flag for stage number 2. As off for turn 4. Marcus Miller will win. Excuse me. Still 2 laps away. Got it wrong there. It's in the lap 64. Anyway, still 2 laps to go in the stage, and if this holds, Marcus Miller should win stage number 2. With Jonathan Parker about 3 seconds back now, as he's just slowly but surely gaining that time on our race leader of Marcus Miller. So now we are on the white flag for the stage. Off of turn 4, Marcus Miller will win stage number 2. It'll sweep both of the stages here tonight. Jonathan Parker continues to close the gap down to 2.6 seconds. Close battle on the racetrack is for 2nd, Jonathan Parker and Josh Arnold. Now Jonathan Parker's advantage is kind of erased right now. The gap now just kind of stabilized around 2.8. He has some lap traffic up ahead. We could be slowing down his wake, kind of. As close battle here, Cal Top and Zachary Meredith for 9th. Top, I believe, getting around Meredith there. Yeah, Jonathan Barker has not really gained any more time on Marcus Miller at all. Jonathan Barker right ahead of him is Chase McGuire. Giving him some big dirty air right now through 1 and 2. I think he's causing Jonathan Barker to maybe slow down just a little bit. Not being in his wake in this dirty air. Right, gonna give him the bottom lane for now. Through 1 and 2 to go. Parker now has brought the lead down to 2.1 seconds. I'm Mark Kissemother. Josh Olaf has kind of fallen back quite a bit rapidly. On Jonathan Parker gap down 3 seconds with him and Parker, but Parker now within 2 seconds of Mark Kissemother. As soon as he cleared that lap traffic, he gained a lot of time there on the 15 machine. We're now trying to chase him down. Pit stops happening here probably around 10 minutes or so. 10 laps. See that gap slowly but surely coming down, but I don't think he'll catch him before the pit stops happen. But it's definitely going to be a two-horse race here for the race win. Do not have any mistakes on pit lane, and Mark Kiswin or Jonathan Barker wants a shot at this race win here tonight at Kansas. It would be a great comeback for that 48 machine if he can pull it off here. This pit stop should be happening here any moment. Who will come down pit lane first will be Jonathan Parker or Mark Kiswin. Pit stop before Mark Kiswin went one lap before Jonathan Parker. Will we see that again here on this pit cycle? Most likely the last one unless we have a late race caution. We have been green all 86 laps in total. We have 43 to go this time. And the 42 this time by. Very good run here for John Osborne, that 81 machine. Currently in that fourth place spot, not in the playoffs though currently. But good run for him. Nevertheless. Osborne only has one top 5 this season. And 11 starts. It's coming to lap 44 on this run, coming to 45 this time by on these tires and fuel. As here comes Kiswiller paying a little earlier. John the Parker gonna stay out. Make sure Kiswiller has a good period entry. Looks like he does. Locks up the brakes perfectly. And behind Cole Snyder there in pit lane as John the Parker stays out an extra lap like he did before. As here comes Parker, deja vu all over again. Jonathan Parker gonna pit one lap later. As where will he cycle out? Will Parker also take 2 tires? Possibly could be a strategy call. We've seen that multiple times this season. Looks like Parker will take 4. As here comes Kissmiller off turn 4. Right now, Josh Allen comes out pit lane. Same with Kyle Todd. Zachary Meredith. They might have a period mistake there. As here comes Parker off of pit lane. There goes Mark Kissmiller going right by there. This gap off the pit lane, it's going to be around 3 or so seconds. 2.5 is official, the mark here between these two drivers. So 2.5 seconds with 37 laps to go. This one's going to be a great battle here between those two great drivers. As now, right now, Mark Kissmiller kind of pulling away from Jonathan Parker as Cole Center not making it easy there for Parker to get by him. Parker trying to get on this lap traffic. Is he going to clear off a turn 2? Yes, he will. That lap traffic cost him quite a bit of time, around 3 or 4 tenths, and that might be the difference here in tonight's race win. Now he's clear, and no lap traffic, I believe, in between the drivers, and there's not. And Sean Jurgensmeyer, Ed O'John Osborne there. And also Josh Adams closing on Chase McGuire there for 7th. We have between Adams and McGuire closing down pretty quickly, about half a second between those two drivers. We're at 7th place spot. On board there with Josh Adams in that 12 machine. As hard as he can to get some sort of points back. So currently he is 5 points ahead of the cut line. But Marcus are doing so well tonight and looking to try to win tonight's race. Winning both stages, it's going to be tough for Adams to maybe make the playoffs and advance to the final four, but obviously Kyle Todd not having a good night, Zachary Meredith and Donnie Kite not having a good night as well, so I mean, definitely Adams, even with his bad performance tonight, he could definitely still make his way into the final four and have a chance to compete in the championship round. And we're very close to McGuire there. We're 7th. So he goes Adams to the top of the racetrack. Try and get that clean air here on that 9 machine. He's now getting his draft right there. Down the front straightaway while he looks to the inside. Will he go up top? So he's going to go way up to the top side. Almost in that 3rd lane on the very top. Trying to get that momentum off of turn number 2. Has some draft. It's not going to be quite enough. Not a lot of momentum there off of turn 2. But now he's really ripping the wall through 3 and 4. Gets off a little bit there. There's a side-by-side ahead. That's a lap traffic there, not for position. Adams still, every point will matter to him, so this might not be too important for Chase McGuire, but it's really important for Josh Adams here in the bigger picture to get this extra spot and this extra points here, even if it is just 7th place. Lap traffic we're working through right now. It's Mike Campbell there, almost 3 wide there and through 3 and 4. And so here comes Adams on the racetrack. Tried up top a few laps ago, now he's looking to the bottom. He's side by side with that 9 machine down the back straightaway. He'll do a side drop there down to turn 3 and 4. Adams not able to slide in front of him quite yet. He's going to try to off the exit, but he's not clear. Still, it's door to door down the front straightaway, a little bit of contact maybe there. As will we see a slide job move down in turn 1 and 2? Not quite, but I think Adams has the momentum and he should clear here off of turn 2. Yes, he will. As a little contact there behind, that's Jonathan Drimsmeyer. And Chase McGuire as John Osborne is cut up to that 00 machine as well. Jonathan Parker now, his gap under 2 seconds between him and Mark Kissenweather. You have to get about a tenth a lap. Close that gap down enough. As we'll do our final crank it up here with 18 to go here at Kansas. Now we're back live here. A lot of battles on the racetrack currently. Josh Adams and Cole Snyder there in 7th, battling for 6th place. Adams will clear center pretty easily there. That's a 6th place spot, excuse me. But Josh Arnold, John Jungsmeyer, and John Osborne very close together here for 3rd. And Jonathan Barker still closing that gap down little by little here on Mark Kissenweather. Not sure if it will be enough, but he's probably going to be within a few tenths or so at the end of this one. As here comes John Jungsmeyer. Battle for 3rd is heating up here with 10 laps to go. Jonathan Parker still continuing to close on Mark Kisswiller. I don't think he'll get there in time. Got down a little bit under a second. Mark Kisswiller struggling with some lap traffic up ahead. I could allow Jonathan Parker to close down that gap and have a chance of the win here late. And that was 6 laps to go this time by. The gap is 9/10 between him and Jonathan Parker. As Josh Arnold and Jonathan Dreamsmeyer as well close together here for third. And John Osborne not out of it quite yet, as Cole Sanger and Chase McGuire are close together as well. About 2/10 separate those two drivers, so quite a bit of battles here late in this one with 6 laps to go throughout the whole field. The Kisswiller is struggling with some lap traffic up ahead, giving them some dirty air. Gap down to 7/10 this time by. Let's go back for third place. Jonathan Dreamsmeyer right on the back bumper of Josh Arnold. With 5 laps to go. A lot happening here late at Kansas. Dreamsmeyer gonna run the top side, try to get that clean air, get some momentum. Got a bit too loose there off of turn number 2. Has a little bit of jab down to turn 3 and 4. But he's struggling just a little bit to try to get that momentum enough to get alongside Josh Arnold. Out in front still, 4 laps to go. Mark Kisswiller, gap down to 5/10 of a second. It's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass here, and we've seen that multiple times here at Kansas tonight. As 3 laps ago this time by, they got down to 3/10 of a second. As here comes Parker to the inside off of turn 4. Got a really good run. It was side by side for the race lead with 2 laps to go here at Kansas. Parker all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. Can he slide his way by? Kissing on the outside wall for turn 2. He keeps his momentum alongside. Hits the wall once more. He still has the momentum down to turn 3 and 4 for this penultimate time. That's coming off of turn 4. Coming to the white flag this time by. Parker on the inside. Kisswiller has to back down, hits the outside wall hard. Parker clears for the race lead. White flag in the air. One more time to go around. Can Kisswiller mount a run here through 1 and 2? He has a good run the outside line, getting that clean air. Oh, but he's in the outside wall. He loses all that momentum. Jonathan Parker just has to go through 3 and 4 cleanly. Lap traffic up ahead shouldn't play a factor. But off of turn 4, what a comeback for Jonathan Parker. He goes from first to last to back to first, and he'll win here at Kansas tonight. And a dramatic finish there, and it's about side by side for third. Door banging across the line. It's going to be Josh Arnold. It'll barely get Jonathan Dreamsmeyer at the line, as John Osborne was almost there as well. Dramatic finishes here late at Kansas for these top 5 spots. As well, a heartbreak there from Mark Kisswiller. I really think the lap traffic played a big part in that one, as he just all of a sudden was losing a lot of time. He pushed a little bit too much as well. Here's a off turn 4. Dreamsmeyer tried to be as aggressive as he can, but Arnold wasn't having any of it. He hangs on for 3rd place by a slim margin. But Jonathan Parker, what an impressive win. Didn't lead a single lap until that last lap. Coming to the whites, so 2 laps left on the night. After starting on pole position, insane comeback there, all under green, no cautions. And wow, that might be his championship moment right there. As he burns down here in Kansas, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back here with the top 3 interviews after this.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
At NJBDesigns.com, we specialize in transforming your vehicle into a work of art by revolutionizing the way you see your car with the hottest trends in sim racing. Choose from a wide range of colors, textures, finishes to promote your business and sponsors in style. Whether you're looking to add a sleek matte finish, a flashy chrome accent, or a custom design that turns heads, our designers have you covered. If you want to stand out in the crowd, visit njbdesigns.com today and let our team of professionals transform your vision into reality.
Guys, we're back live here at Kansas Speedway. Let's take a quick look at our final results here tonight for our top 3 interviews. As Jonathan Barker will win here tonight over Mark Kisswiller in 2nd. In 3rd, Josh Arnold, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in 4th, John Osborne 5th, Josh Adams 6th, Cole Center in 7th, Chase McGuire 8th, Kyle Top 9th, Mike Campbell rounding out the top 10, Donnie Kite 11th, Zachary Marino 12th, and Gabriel Dahari not staying the lap here tonight will finish in last. We'll talk to our race winner here tonight of Jonathan Barker. What a win for him. So we'll bring him into the booth here. Hello, Jonathan. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
What a win for you. What a comeback right there. Looked like on the initial start, you spun your tires or just got out the gear wrong from first to second. And you worked your way back slowly but surely from last place to the race win off of turn number 4 coming to the white. Talk us through that one.
Yeah, usually at Kansas I make one mistake and it's usually at the end of the race. And it cost me, I've led so many laps here. And I was thinking to myself as soon as that happened, I'm like, well, the one mistake's out of the way. I did it right at the start. I tested it on the coming to one to green. I tested being in first gear and it liked it there and it really didn't when we actually went to racing. So I just tried to get out of the way, make sure no one wrecked. And I know J-Paw had to clear, I think it was Donnie Kite's black flag. So feel bad about that, but otherwise, yeah, I just knew I had to be cautious and I knew I had to be patient. And I did a really bad job of that on the first run. I was just kind of a little frustrated and I burned up my right front a little too much. And then after that, I was able to just calm down and run my pace. And I wanted to go long on both those runs, a little longer than Mark, because I felt like the long run would be the strength. And sure enough, he fell off the cliff around the last 5 laps is probably when he started to fall off the cliff. And that was just enough time for me to make up all that time I spotted everybody.
Yeah, what a great comeback there. On the last few laps, you talked about his fall off there. How did you think you were gonna be able to catch him there at the end, or do you kind of thought he was out of reach just a little bit? Then once he started falling off,
If you would have asked me at 10 to go, I would have been like, yeah, it's a little too far out. And 7 to go, I'm like, yeah, it's still a little far out. But I started us matching and then turning into maybe a tenth in my favor, started turning into 2-3 tenths. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to him. But obviously passing him is a completely different thing. And I just, the good thing about Kansas, there's several lines you could choose. So he could try his hardest to aero block me, but he can't block all 3 or 4 lanes here. So I just had to pick one wherever he wasn't and just hope it stuck, and it did. I hung on just long enough to be able to pass him.
yep. Congrats on you winning your night, Kansas, and I believe that'll lock you into the next round as well, just based on the point situation. But anyone that I think for tonight's win?
I'd like to thank Lowe's, Cobalt Tools, and Mellow Yellow, and the Coca-Cola Company, Chad and Earl, crew chief and spotter. I'd like to thank everybody that was in the call. They were watching the truck event, the finale. So I kind of know what happened. I ain't gonna spoil it here, for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. But so yeah, shout out to the whole truck field, just because it was their last race of the season, the Craftsman Truck Series, and shout out to Christian Pacheco.
Yep. Congrats on you winning here tonight, Kansas. We'll see you next week at Michigan.
Thank you.
Shout out to Jonathan Barker, our race winner, bringing our second place finisher of Mark Kissenweather. As it seemed like he was the man to beat here at the end, just came up a little too short. Hello, Mark, you got a copy?
I got you.
So you round yourself off in the second there, just came up a little too short on Jonathan Parker there late. Seemed like you just kind of fell off a cliff tire-wise the last 10 laps or so.
Kind of, sort of. I don't know. My long run speed was all right. I mean, I held off whoever was behind me like the first cycle, so I felt pretty good about my long run pace. It was just being stuck in like that weird bubble of being 7/10 behind a guy where I can't gain any speed no matter where. If I run the top, I lose time to Parker. If I run the bottom where Tub was, I am losing time to Parker because I'm arrow tight the whole corner. So I was just in a losing position there.
You still had a great race overall, though. Won the stage 1 and won stage 2, finishing second. Believe you're probably into the next round. Not sure exactly officially, but I think with your stage wins and the others not having a great result, I think you are into the next round. But look into next round. If you are in there, what do you think your strengths are going to be there with Michigan, Bristol, and Charlotte?
Probably not Michigan. I kind of suck at the big tracks. If it's over 1.5 miles, I'm not that good. Not very confident in it. But Charlotte and Bristol, I feel like I could maybe do something to give Parker a fight, and whoever else isn't going to be in the final 4. Should be fun.
Yeah, you had a great run tonight. Puts yourself in the championship round, and you won the bank for tonight's great performance.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Matt Liveries for hopping aboard. Vey Lip Balm for being on my car today. My Halloween paint scheme, and simwrapmarket.com.
Well, congrats on your second here tonight at Kansas. We'll see you next week at Michigan.
All right, thank you.
So that was Mark Kissenweather, our second place finisher. Bringing our third place finisher of Josh Arnold. The 22 machine. Hello, Josh. You got a copy? Hey, Josh, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You wrap yourself off in the third place. A dramatic finish between you and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer there. Coming to the white flag. Talking us through that final lap between you two, and John Osborne was also close there as well at the end.
Yeah, just really, good job of Jurgensmeyer for battling back from spinning on pit road, and Osborne, kind of ran his race and just kind of saved his tires and was running us down at the end. I mean, another lap, I probably would have lost 2 spots there, but no, overall the night, I I needed to run the best that I possibly could. And I think tonight really was part of that to help me with the points, because I think that helped me, move on to the next round.
Yeah, speaking of the next round, what do you think your chances there with Michigan, Bristol, and Charlotte there, these next 3 races?
Michigan probably is my best chance to like maybe get a good start. If I don't do good next week, then I don't look. I don't look at a championship maybe going into Bristol, but of course, I mean, like Parker, kind of, he did his spin and win tonight, or somewhat spin and win tonight. So you never know what's going to happen. I mean, Juergensmeyer, you'd have never thought that he would spin on pit road. And then there was quite a few other ones that sped on pit road there on the first stop that really, kind of elevated my night. So, I took advantage of other people's mistakes. I was thinking, halfway through, I was like, all right, next pit stop, don't make any mistakes. Just get in, get out, do what you can, and then finish the race and get as many points as you can. But, speaking of the points, I guess, I'll be the one to announce it. Moving on is Parker. Of course, Parker, he's always a force, always a championship threat. And then myself moved up to second place in points. Mark tonight with his good run. And then, the beginning of this round, Cole really started off good. He's kind of tapered off a little bit, but he actually advanced to the final as well, the final group.
Yeah, I think Cole had that speeding penalty as well, I believe.
There was a lot of cops
Yeah.
on the track tonight, man.
Exactly. Yeah, but you end up in 3rd place ahead of all of them. But and you want to thank you for tonight's great run up Kansas.
Thank you to Go Time Cards, Coulter Cards, both of them on YouTube. On eBay. It's where you can get all your sports cards, that kind of stuff. And then, of course, Legends Racing Network for broadcasting this. I think this is my first time maybe in the booth all season. So better late than never, I would say. So Thank you for being here all season, and, a few more races left to go. And then, of course, let me get back to the list. My God, DI9 Designs, all your Chase Elliott, I think on X, they have on X and probably Instagram and stuff like that. And then Jones Paint and Design, Tubbs Graphics, Juicy Spider Studios. You see them on Donnie Kite's car, Josh Adams, both of them. They didn't make the next round, but I really think Donnie, had a shot there. Obviously, he had some bad luck there at the very beginning of the race, battling for the lead. And then Josh Adams, with the speeding on pit road, really set his race back and held him back from getting stage points. I mean, he's got stage points in stage 1, but, the stage 2, getting the finish, he probably most likely could have gotten way better than that. So, thank them for sponsoring and racing this season. And, other than that, really, shout out to my mom. She drove 6 hours to my home, or to where I'm living now, to visit with me this weekend. So I'm about to call her after I get done with this.
Yeah, well, congrats on your 3rd year tonight, and we'll see you next week at Michigan.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Y'all have a good weekend. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. So that was Josh Arnold there, our 3rd place finisher. And what a night that was. What a race that was for Jonathan Parker. Mark Kessler, kind of a heartbreaking moment there, but he advances on to the championship round, the final 4, if you want to call it that. He has a shot to win here, win the championship these next 3 weeks. Like I mentioned, up next here on NAOR Cup Series is in Michigan. Next week, 96 laps there. A 2-mile racetrack up north. Up next on the Legends Race Network, it's a Wednesday night the Superstar ARCA West Series at Watkins Glen in New York. And Thursday night, you got the Quantum Contender Series at Belle Isle. So very interesting. And obviously, you have the NAOR Cup Series next week at Michigan. The opening round is a championship 4, and should be a fun one. Jonathan Parker won the regular season. He wins here tonight. He's definitely the favorite going into these next 3 races. But anything can happen here and on the simulator. But we'll see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network. And thank you guys for watching.